So the question you have to ask yourself is, are you willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to show up when everybody else is quitting? Are you willing to work harder and work longer than other people? Are you willing to believe when every single thing around you is showing you and telling you and shouting at you to give up?
This is Leah Steele. Welcome to the Wealth Witch podcast. Just a few years ago, I experienced complete financial collapse. We lost a business, our home, and a car. My husband was selling plasma to pay for diapers and formula. I was living a life I hated, and I was miserable. It was the lowest part of my life. It ended up being my biggest blessing. Just a few short years later, I've designed the life of my dreams. I live a life of luxury in beautiful Bali, Indonesia, travel the world, and spend my days helping others manifest wealth and abundance. Living a purpose-led life changed everything for me. This podcast is about my journey, my top tips and tools for manifestation, and interviews with all the amazing, world-changing, inspiring people I meet along the way. Welcome to my world.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Wealth Witch podcast. I am excited about this episode today because the title of it is one of my favorite sayings. If it was easy, then everyone would be doing it, and they're not. So I want to touch on what this means to me and why I believe that more people are not stepping up and reclaiming their financial destinies. It's because I truly believe that very few people are willing to do the work that it takes. It's not easy. It requires persistence. It requires dedication. It requires discipline, rigorous discipline to take back your power, to reclaim your financial destiny. And most people just truly aren't willing to dedicate, one, the time that it takes. So they're not willing to dedicate their most precious resources, their time, their energy, their money. So that's the first thing. They're not willing to invest in themselves in that way, but they're also not willing to sacrifice short-term pleasures and gratifications for the long game. They're not willing to make those sacrifices now to achieve their goals in the future. And I think that that's very much human nature. We want instant gratification. We want the pleasure now. We want the pleasure in the moment. And we're just not willing to wait long term. And that is truly the thing that keeps us small. It keeps us from recognizing and realizing our true power, and it keeps us from success. That need for instant gratification. Everything in life worth having requires sacrifice. And this is the thing that a lot of people won't tell you, especially the new age love and lighters, the secret principle practitioners, the law of attraction gurus. They'll tell you that you can just think your way rich, that you can think your way abundant, that you can think your way to massive manifestation. And I call bullshit on that. It's just not true. It requires sacrifice. Anything worth having does. So the question you have to ask yourself is, are you willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to show up when everybody else is quitting? Are you willing to work harder and work longer than other people? Are you willing to believe when every single thing around you is showing you and telling you and shouting at you to give up? This is the difference, I believe, between the people that make it and the people that don't. The people that acquire and accumulate wealth and those that don't. Those that reclaim their financial destinies and break free of financial slavery programming and those that don't. It is this willingness to go further than anyone else. It is the willingness to sacrifice in the short term for those long-term gains. You know, I think a lot of people that follow me say, oh, that's easy for you to say. You know, you have a staff of 5, you live in Bali, Indonesia, you have people caring for your children, you have people cooking your meals. I didn't always have that. And in fact, I started this business as the sole breadwinner, coming off the heels of a business completely imploding, with $0 in my bank account, with a baby that I was nursing. And at the time, I was the PTA president of the school. I was on the school board, and I was doing all of it. I was cleaning the house. I was cooking the meals. I was doing the laundry. I was sleeping very little, and I was sacrificing. I was doing what it took because failure for me was not an option. I had a vision of the life that I desired to live, and I was so miserable in my current circumstances and in my current life that I was willing to do anything and everything to get there. And plan B wasn't an option. Failure wasn't an option. Here's the thing that I will tell you. As long as you have a plan B or a plan C, your plan A is never going to happen, because you'll be willing to settle for something less than the thing that you truly want. So for me, plan Bs just aren't a part of my life. They don't exist. It's plan A or nothing. I desire something, and I am not willing to settle for anything less than that thing that I desire. And I think desire gets a bad rap sometimes. I think in the scale of consciousness, desire is a lower vibrating emotion. And I truly believe that it is our programming and conditioning that keep us in a place where we feel like desiring or wanting things is bad, and that it's low vibrational and it's energetically low on the scale of consciousness, right? And I just call bullshit on that, because I truly believe that if you can conceive of something, it's because you're meant to have it. If you desire something and you can conceive of potentially in your future having something, and it makes you feel high vibrational and it makes you feel like you would be happy if you achieved that thing, it's because you were meant to have it. You wouldn't even be able to conceive of it if you weren't meant to have that thing. And so for me, I believe desires are so healthy. And I like the word desire over the word want, because I do feel like the word want, it's that when you picture the universe as a perfect mirror, if you go to the universe and you say, I want, the universe comes back to you and says, I want. Desire is a little bit different. Desire for me is a contemplation of a thing that I believe will make my life better, of a thing that will make me happy, of a thing that will raise my energetic vibration. And so I approach my desires from that place. I also believe that God, source, universe, all that is, whatever you call it, wants me to be happy. That as long as I am on this planet fulfilling my divine mission work and helping the people that I am meant to have, that there is no desire that is too big for me. As long as I'm doing my part, I believe that the divine wants me to have everything that I desire. I don't believe that the divine would allow me to have ideas of something that was beyond my grasp. And so no matter how big my dreams are, no matter how big my desires are, I know that I can achieve them, but I cannot achieve them if I'm not willing to make short-term sacrifices. And I cannot achieve them if I have a plan B. Because as long as I have a plan B, I will settle. And as long as I give in to short-term gratification, I can't ever make the sacrifice that's truly required for me to achieve those long-term desires and those long-term goals. And, I wish I could tell you that that wasn't the case. I wish I could tell you that you could secret your way and law of attraction your way to all of the desires that you have in your life. It's just not true. And nobody that has achieved greatness is going to tell you that that's true. Everyone that has achieved greatness, everyone that has fully realized the life that they deeply desired is going to tell you that there were sacrifices along the way. For me to get to this place that I am right now, living this incredible, amazing life that I'm living, I had to sacrifice. I sacrificed time in my relationship with my husband. I sacrificed time with my children. I sacrificed sleep. I still sacrifice those things at times when I have goals that I'm trying to achieve, when I have deadlines that I've given myself of achieving certain goals. That's the trade-off. I have created this life that I deeply desire. I get to travel the world with my children now. I get to have these incredible experiences with them. It came from making sacrifices years ago. And the trips that we'll take in the future and the experiences that I'll create with my children in the future, they will come from the sacrifices that I'm making now. There is no dream that is too big. If you can conceive it, you are meant to achieve it. But it does require sacrifice, and most people simply are not willing to do the work. I talk a lot about rigorous discipline in personal practices. And this is the place where I believe most people fall off. They're not willing to stick to a daily meditation practice. They're not willing to stick to a daily journaling practice. And when things start to go and head in the right direction and they start to make traction in achieving their goals, they'll stop doing the things that got them to that place of improvement in the first place. They'll think, oh, I don't need that anymore. I'm doing great. I'm heading in the right direction. And then that is the thing that actually sabotages them achieving their destination. When we get to that place where, we're doing good. Oh my gosh, we're finally making money. We've got more income coming in than we ever have. We're starting to achieve some of the short-term steps. We're up-leveling step by step, and we can see the destination. Like, it's in our vision. And then we're like, oh my gosh, we're there. We're almost there. And we stop doing the things that got us to that place. This is human nature. We will sabotage ourselves over and over and over again. And the thing that's crazy about this rigorous discipline in personal practices is you don't see the decline right away. So you'll stop doing the journaling and you'll stop doing the meditation and you'll stop connecting to source. You'll stop listening to your wealth consciousness work 30 minutes or an hour a day. You'll stop doing the work and you won't immediately see a negative result to that. What happens is, just like you slowly crept up and began to see those results slowly but surely, you'll slowly start to creep back down. And before you know it, the bottom will have fallen out again. And you'll be like, what the hell just happened? I was doing great. Well, you stopped doing the things that got you there in the first place. You stopped showing up for yourself in the ways that you were showing up for yourself, which in most cases, again, is rigorous discipline in your personal practices. Whatever you have determined are those things that make you successful, you have to make a commitment to yourself that you're going to do those things every single day, come hell or high water, no matter what happens. Doesn't matter if the world is ending and your house is on fire, those things are non-negotiables. That is how you achieve the life you deeply desire. That is how you achieve those goals that seem insurmountable, that seem unachievable. Because everything is available to you if you are ready and willing to do the work. I didn't have all of those things in the beginning. I didn't have the staff of 5. I didn't have the people helping me care for my children. I didn't have the amazing team of people that I have that work with me in my business right now. I still showed up and did the work. And I showed up and did the work when I didn't want to do it. I showed up and did the work when it seemed like I would never achieve my goals. I showed up and did the work when everyone around me was telling me I was going to fail, because Plan B and failure was not an option. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Wealth Witch podcast. I wanted to just take a break to talk to you about an amazing offer I have right now to work with me like my high-end clients do for a fraction of the investment. If there's anything that this pandemic has made clear, it's that our perception of what is safe, stable, and secure is anything but. You are your guarantee. You are the key to unlocking and calling in the wealth that you desire. So if you've found me, you know that I'm all about belief and intention, and that for me, deciding is the most important action you can take. So I don't need to convince you. You'll either resonate with this or not. You only need to have a desire to change your current financial reality. So I'm hosting this new incredible mastermind, the Wealth Alchemy Mastermind, via the Telegram app. And I'm doing it in a way that is purposely accessible. So as you've heard me talk about, you must invest your resources to shift time, energy, and money. This is an incredible opportunity to work with me in this mastermind at a special founder's rate of only $22 a month. Yes, you heard that right. Just $22 a month to work with me at the same level that some of my high-end clients do. But you have to act fast because this special founders rate is expiring on Friday, May 22nd. So there's only a limited amount of time to get in at this amazing rate. So what do you get? You get weekly exclusive content and training, a monthly Zoom coaching call, a monthly Q&A session, wealth paradigm downloads, wealth activations, and a mastermind chat full of like-minded community. You do not do this mastermind for the content. You're doing it for the transmissions, period. You will be activated with abundance just by being in this container, but you have to act fast. In order to get this $22 founders rate, you have to sign up by May 22nd. The instructions on how to do that are in the description of this podcast. I would love for you to join me, do the thing. Now back to the podcast. There's something happening in the world right now. We all know what it is, right? Like literally this virus has taken the world by storm and life as we know it has changed. So many people are sitting, waiting for life to go back to the way that it was, thinking in a month or 2 months or 3 months, or maybe, 6 months at the longest, life is going to go back to the way it was before. I'm here to tell you that's not going to happen. Life is not going back to the way that it was before. The world is forever changed. The beauty of that is there has never been a better time to reclaim your financial destiny. Old paradigms are breaking down by the minute. We are seeing major shifts and changes in the global financial climate. We are going to continue to see that. We are going to see a crippling of all of our existing financial structures coming in the next 5 years. Nothing is going to look the same. Right now, we have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice to reclaim your financial destiny and decide that you are the one that's going to be in control of your life. You are going to step out of the passenger seat of the car that is your life and get into that driver's seat. And you're going to make the choice to do it now. Because right now is the time. Now is the time that we can choose freedom over financial slavery consciousness. And the really sad part about this is that many of you that are listening to this, you're not going to choose freedom. You're going to choose to stay in slavery because it's more comfortable. So this is my call to you. If you are sitting around waiting for things to go back to the way that they used to be, stop, because they're not going to. You have the power to change your financial reality and your financial circumstances right now. There has never been a better time to do that than right now. You get to choose to opt out right now of the global financial agenda. You get to choose to opt out of living in financial slavery consciousness. You get to choose freedom. How you do that is by deciding that you are your guarantee, that the only one that controls your destiny financially or otherwise is you. And you get to show up and take inspired action every single day towards guaranteeing that life that you deeply desire for yourself. It means that you no longer have to be a slave to a 9-to-5 job. It means that you no longer have to be a slave to all of the perceptions of what makes a good, responsible human being. It's about deconstructing the dogma, the financial dogma, the societal dogma, the parental dogma, perhaps the dogma that exists within your romantic relationship. The dogma is simply the rules that everybody else wants you to follow. And it is how we make our associations of what is good and what is bad. And it is ultimately the thing that conditions and controls us. And what do they do to keep dogma in place? Well, they use guilt, they use shame, they use manipulation to make you feel like you are less than, to make you feel like you're doing something wrong or you're doing something bad. Now is the time to decide that the only rules that matter are your rules, that you write the rules for your life, that you get to choose to be wildly financially abundant, doing your divine mission work on this planet, and that nobody has the right to take that from you, that nobody deserves to make you feel less than what you are. which is a divine immortal soul that happens to be housed in a physical body, but it doesn't make you less than that divine immortal soul. You are here on this planet to do something great. Every single one of us are. Every single one of us has a unique gift that we are here to share with the world. Every single one of us has a divine mission that we're meant to fulfill. Don't let them take that from you 1 second longer. Decide that you are going to be your guarantee. Decide that you are going to show up and do the work even when you don't feel like it. Decide that you're going to show up and do the work even when it's so hard that you can't imagine going 1 more minute. Show up for yourself. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. They're not. It's not. It's extremely difficult. It's extremely hard. And it takes perseverance and it takes dedication. But I promise you, you have it in you. Even if you don't believe, you have it. You just have to start showing up for yourself in rigorous discipline. You don't have to fully believe that you can achieve those goals that you set for yourself. But you do have to keep showing up every single day until you do believe it. So if you're having a hard time with that idea that I threw out of if you can conceive of it, it's because you were meant to achieve it. If that's difficult for you, if you're really struggling with that, then just commit to showing up until you do believe it. Decide that you're worth it. Decide that your happiness is deserved. Decide that there is a better life out there than the one that you're living. And the only person that can get there to that life is you. Nobody around you can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. And this is the place right now where I can feel the energy of there's just this great opportunity to believe in yourself. Believing in yourself and in your own capabilities is what is going to be rewarded most by the universe right now. You can choose freedom or you can choose slavery. And I know so many people are going to stay in that place of slavery, and that hurts my heart. But I know that there are some of you that are listening to this podcast right now that are going to embrace freedom, and you're going to step into that greatest version of yourself, and you are going to access that version of yourself that exists in the infinite now, and you're going to pull it to you, and you're going to shift, and you're going to be willing to show up for yourself, and you're going to practice rigorous discipline in your personal practices, and you are going to achieve that life that you deeply desire. And that makes it worth it. Like, that makes it worth it to me to be on these podcasts and to be talking to you about these things. The time is now. There has never been a better time. You have the power, and that life that you dream of, it is available to you. And it's not that far away. The thing about compounding and the thing about showing up and believing in yourself every single day is that before you know it, you're there and you're creating a new dream and a new destination. And the next time it gets easier to work towards it because you've already stood in the fire and you've already walked over the coals. You've already proven to yourself that you are worthy and you are deserving. And you are worthy and you are deserving of wealth and beauty in all areas of your life.
That's a wrap. Thank you for joining me. Remember, wealth is a mindset, and you absolutely deserve to live the life you deeply desire. And with belief and intention, you create your reality. Until next time, this is Leah Steele, the Wealth Witch.